Can I ask a little question?
Cooper's thinking about, I want to get into the property market.
Great players.
It would have been Rod Stewart.
You've got to turn over some of this roster.
My chafe got so bad.
Well, welcome to Backstage for this week. I've got a real treat for you this week if you like good storytelling. But Jack's just informed me that he wants me to hit the subscribe button for TikTok and Facebook.
No. Facebook. No, not Facebook. Apple Podcast and Spotify, Matthew. Yeah, so what people do is they can head on to those apps and they can hit follow and subscribe on our actual podcast. And what that does is when we release an episode, they get a notification so they can go out there and they can listen to it straight away. Yeah, excellent. So that's how technology works.
Geez, had some good feedback on our Origin review. But by the way,
who?
I'm loving your jumper. It's really good.
Thanks.
Yeah, where'd you come from? A rock fight or something?
A what? A what? Sorry.
A rock fight.
What's that?
That's where people throw rocks at each other, meaning that what you do if you turned up at a rock fight, you would wear something that was quite ugly, as to not worried if it got destroyed.
You don't like it?
It's all right. It's all right. Not my type of fabric.
You don't like knitwear?
I just find it a bit scratchy.
Knitwear's in at the moment.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. Every one of the might get my mesh shirt out. Hey, mate, in for a real treat today, as I said before. We got Natty Wood and Garth Wood. Man, they've lived a life. Those two lads, of course. Natty was a terrific footballer, but he's just one of the great storytellers. He's a great character. To give you an idea who he is, he and Brian Fletcher are really tight mates. Played together at the Roosters. He played for the Roosters. He played
Warriors.
He played for the Warriors. He played for the Balmain Tigers, and went over had a long career in the English Super League with Warrington. And of course, Garth. He played with the Bunnies. Growing up, was Bunnies Junior, and then went into boxing and had not a long, but he had a successful boxing career. Fought some of the best, beat Choco, Anthony Mundine, and so mate, they're both great characters. As I said numerous times, great storytellers. You're really going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Let's get into this.
Boys, just right up on the mic there. Fellas, thanks, Natty. Cheers. Mate, boys, I'll tell you what, I was thinking. We're getting to that age that every time you generally see people, it takes a death to run into people. We lost a couple of good ones recently. Yep. Aaron Nagle and Tezza, which Natty was a massive shock. Why not Terry?
It was a massive shock, but this is a true story. I saw, because he was away with good mates of mine, me and Terry grew up together, and I saw a video of him and a photo of him, and he was just sweating, and he just looked average. And I said to my missus, that's a mate of mine, she doesn't know him. I said, looks like he's going to have a heart attack. And then Madden rings me. Jason Irvine texts me like 5 days later and goes, Terry Hills had a massive heart attack in wherever they were,
Philippines.
Or whatever.
Philippines, yeah.
And I was like, bullshit. And then I rang a mate that's close to me, Matt Madden, who was there, and I said, mate, is this for real? And he's like, I'm here now, he's purple. I was like, fuck.
So you boys you grew up with Terry?
So Terry, my old man and Terry's old man used to play football against each other. I think Terry's old man played for, I think it was Newdown Hawks.
Newdown Hawks.
And my old man's Camperdown Dragons. And we all grew up in the same area. And me and Terry did a little athletics together. We lived in Mitchell Road and he lived in the street behind him, Belmont Street. And he was always the gun, So he was, I think he was born
man child. He was a man child.
Teeth and pubes, I reckon.
Yeah. Jeez, mate, I tell you what. We're going to talk a lot about boxing here, but he could go. Mate, I tell you, he was scared of no one, was he?
We used to go and get chases all the time. I think I told you. We used to go and get chases all the time. We grew up just running amok. And we used to go, there used to be Moore Park Golf Course. There was a driving range there. I worked there for a little while. You used to have to freeze and cold. You have this like body armour on and this long tube that you'd pick the balls up and they'd just gradually fill. And you'd probably get 20 balls and you walk over to a bin and pump them into it. So we decided, we'll go there and we'll steal the balls and we'll pelt the balls at the boys picking. We'll get a chase off the pro there that drives around in his cart. So we went there and it's middle of winter and we're pelting balls at these kids and they're throwing the balls back at us. And Terry just says, fuck it. He grabs one of the kids. We're kids too. But Terry's a man child. Terry picks the kid up and spears him into the lake. It's like -4. And the pro sees us. He comes down in this golf cart and we all just run. And we can all run. We're all good athletes and we're running. And this bloke just chased. We're going through the 4th fairway, the 5th fairway. We're running apart from Terry's going, fuck this, I'm not running anymore. It's like was that movie, The Warriors? You know? When he
Oh,
goes,
yeah.
And I'm like, what? And he goes, fuck this, Natty. I'll fight him. I go, he's a man. And he goes, nah, I'll fight him. Terry's like 6 foot tall, 15. And the bloke pulls up with his mad polo shirt on the pro, and he gets out and he goes, no. And Terry goes, fuck you, his mad list. He goes, you want to have your go? And the bloke goes, what? And Terry goes, you want to have your go? And the bloke goes, yeah. So Terry and the bloke, it's like Clearsby rules there. Gentleman Jim Corbett, the bloke's like this, and Terry just goes, whack. He goes, oh. So he gets up and Terry goes, whack, whack, whack. I go, Terry, let's go. We get the keys, we throw the keys. Oh, no, we got the buggy. And then when we pulled up, we throw the keys so he can't chase us. And on a Friday night, but Terry he was mad.
Oh, man. Well, you two blokes, brothers, best mates, all the above?
All the above,
All the above.
Yeah. Yeah, how you been? Going good?
Mate, I'm working now. I've got a good job. I'm putting in the hours, but I'm in the tunnels at the moment, which is pretty good. I've been there for 3 weeks.
Is that night shift?
Night shift. So my missus said I looked terrible the other day. So if I look crook, it's only because I haven't had a bender.
That was before he worked.
I've been doing graveyard shift, but mate, money's good. I just got to stick to it. And other than that, girls are good. My daughter's women now, so me is playing footy. Billy's doing a beautician. She's running a beautician. So family's great. My girlfriend and the little bloke Harley's he's in year 8. He's going through puberty. He's all independent and thinks he rules the roost, but we've all been like that.
Yeah.
Talking about fighting then, you two obviously growing up together, both probably a little bit hot-headed blokes. Do you guys ever had any fights growing up against each other?
Never. I'll tell you what used to go on. So if you don't mind, I'm the baby, obviously, as you can tell, but I'm 6.5, maybe 7 years younger than Nathan. Yeah. And so school holidays would come and Dad was always, listen, you take your brother. If you want to go, you just tell me and you're going with him, right? Wherever you want to go, you can go. I said, right. And he's like, looking at like, right. So school holidays would come and they'll go, listen, me and Darryl. So there was Darryl Trindle, Terry Hill, Craig Phil. So I had all these freaks to look up to playing footy. And he goes, where you going? All right. You say you don't want to come. You're sweet. So if Dad asks you, you're not coming, all right? I'm like, yeah, sweet. And then he goes, right, Dad, we're off. Walking down the highway, he goes, hey, wait on. What about your brother? Your brother wants to go. And he goes, no, do you want to go? And I'll go, yeah, I'll go. So I get out the front door, fucking boot kicks me up the arse, smacks me in the head. But within half an hour, we're throwing eggs, having chases, having the best time in the world, and just having a hug and how mad's that. But yeah, and that was always semi like me alpha dad pulling me in the line if I was getting a bit cheeky, although. But then when we hit 18 and that clubbing and all that, there's some good stories, but we'll share them a bit later. But, yeah.
Now I know you wouldn't mind me saying you had a stint in the Silverwater Hotel 2-star resort. That, for you, Natty, that must have been tough for you and the family?
It was tough for Mum and Dad. It was a worry for me because I know how hot-headed Garth can be, and like most of our mates that we grew up with have done jail or worse. So
Could you go and visit pretty regularly?
Weekends.
Only weekends?
Book on the Wednesday, I think it's an hour and a half, 2 hours max if you're lucky.
Yeah, okay.
If you're super max or whatever, but I was, they rolled out the red carpet for me. I started at Parklea, did a month there, then I went to Cessnock, did a month there, and
beautiful.
Then Long Bay for a month. But visitation was pretty good for me. I was in the max, but I wasn't at a risk of any sort, so I got
we've all got an image of what jail's like. Was it? I'm trying to get the right term here, Garth. Was it as expected? Was it easier? Was it tougher?
Mate, the isolation is what bent me over at the start. Given I did what I did, and then within 3.5 days, I'm on a truck out to Parklea. But because we grew up and mates of ours had been in, and friends of the family had been in, we went and visited Ned because Nat had his first 2 kids to Jamie, who's Ned Smith. So I always thought Joe was like a hard man, straight up and down, take me on, this and that. What I found quick smart, it was like a mental asylum and a lot of drug addiction. But, I owe a lot with my upbringing, especially getting used to that. Me and Nat shared a room as kids, and I've learned quick smart about being the big spoon, not the little spoon when you start spooning. And so I made sure I knew what I was doing when I got in there.
Yeah.
No, in all serious things, I feel for a lot of them. there's no more rat houses. Sorry to say it though, but mental wards, I think they all just chuck them inside these days.
Yeah.
So you're also dealing with someone that's got 5 different personalities, or someone. It's a lot like high school, but on steroids, meaning 10 times worse. A lot of ego, a lot of bravado, and they're just little things that doesn't really worry me. It's all about, oh, what are you looking at, this and that. So you got to be on your game. But I was lucky enough. I took it like it was a preparation for a fight. And I didn't know when I was getting out. I'd never heard of it before. The system's pretty weak, if you ask me. I've never been in trouble before, but I went pretty heavy on the bloke that touched my missus. Fucked him up more or less, but he deserved it. And I got 5 months bail, for 4.5 months, no bail. Never heard of before, but mate, I just took it like it was a fight. Preparation, stayed fit, because 45 years old at that age in jail, it's a young man's jail. I was a bit on the piss at the time and a bit overweight, so I'm forever doing burpees and push-ups and a bit of jogging, and just I remember just floating away. Like when I finally got to have my own cell by myself, I remember training as a kid with Johnny Lewis. You just got to take yourself, and this is the main tool in the house if you use correctly. Like when I say isolation, either bend you over and you do the hardest time of your life, or you just got to make the most of it. I just would float away a bit and take myself back to the gym with Johnny Lewis as a kid. And, go on, son. We're not here to fuck spiders. Fucking Jab, roll. That's it, my boy. Let's go. And you used to have to float away because it's a shithole in there. The food shit. You don't know who's coming to tap you on the shoulder, because if someone's recognised me who I am, they think, he should have some money here. We're going to set him up. We want some money and protection. Nothing happened, thank fuck, because I don't know what I would have done. Obviously I was shitting myself at the start just because that's what naturally happens, but the whole thing was about, my dad kept saying to me, mate, don't you touch no one? I said, what? Fucking don't touch no one. You know what I'm dealing with in here? So if I do touch someone, I go too far, and then you're in here for another 12 or 2 months.
Yeah.
Are you training, talking about exercise, are you on your own in there? Like,
at the start, you start off with someone, and then if you behave yourself more or less, and you rub shoulders with the screws, you say, listen, I'm not a risk. I'm not a threat to anyone. Can I get my own room? So I finally got my own room after 2.5 weeks or something, and then it was the best thing in the world, because I could train and do my own shit, hang my own posters up on the wall.
Yeah.
But, I just, because I'm pretty much, everything's got to be set how I want it, clean up, wipe that down, this and that. With a couple of blokes I was in there at the start, a bit messy. And they've got to have a shit. They have a shit at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm screaming, mate, Kersey flush. Fucking Kersey flush. You know what I mean? So it was great to be by myself. But, yeah, jail was hard. The isolation thing. And at the same time, my daughters, my girlfriend, the young bloke, mum and dad especially, I'm sure I aged me dad a fair bit with worry, because he knows exactly what we're about, what the beast is like inside of us. Won't take a backward step, but we never went looking for trouble as kids. Dad would always get you at the back end of dad if he found that you were being a bully or picking on someone. So that's never been in our game, but wouldn't take much for us to go on with it.
Mate, talking about your old man, what a legend in his own right. Your dad, such a great. It's funny. Someone was the other day. They asked me, "Oh, mate, Barry Wood." I said, "Yeah, Barry Wood." And they were actually talking about, the big African-American bloke who sits on the bench, with the massive dick. That's Barry Wood.
Yeah. Is that his name?
That's his name, Barry
Wow.
Wood. Yeah. He's just a meme now, that guy. He's passed away, actually, that fella.
Oh, did
He got a fat, got dead.
Yeah.
Much blood.
Yeah. Mate, but like your old man, great footballer, played Newtown, Norths and Souths, but we'll talk about boxing later. But mate, great mates with John Singleton. But Kerry Packer. Now, he was Kerry Packer's, good mate, trainer, security, all of the above.
He's minder. He's minder.
Yeah, similar to a minder. The good thing was with Dad, he can keep a secret, and he can converse with anybody. He's a really clever bloke. It was good for me and Garth. Like, he'd go away with Kerry. You wouldn't see him for 6 months of the year, because he'd be going from here to there, Barcelona and this and that. But he'd just ring you up and he'd go, "How you going?" He'd go, "All right." And he'd go, what's your furniture like?" You go, "What? What's your furniture like?" "Oh, it's fucking fantastic. It's shit." He'd go, "Well, go and buy yourself a lounge and a TV and a fridge." And then I go, "Why? What happened?" He goes, "Oh, Kerry give us," there's 4 blokes travelling, "Kerry give us $50,000 chip each while he was in the high rollers." And he said, go and turn it into something. And he goes, and we went down and we were punting. You'd probably know the couple of blokes he went with. And then Kerry had come down and go, "What do you got?" And say they've got 180 grand left. He'd just get it all and go and turn it into 2 mil,
Back
3
around.
mil. And go, there you go. So sometimes one time Dad come back from being away and bought a house in
Sydney
Newtown.
Park. Yeah, Sydney Park.
No, it wasn't Sydney Park, it was Newtown. He bought a house in Newtown cash.
Jesus.
So that's one of the... Like Dad's got a million stories that he doesn't release many, but he's released a few of us.
You push that closer to Natty?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He's released a few to us.
There he is.
But so, like, Dad'd come back and give you an envelope full of cash because he'd been at the casino with Kerry.
Kerry then, because I've heard a lot of these gambling stories before, and I just assumed because he's got a lot of money, he's just out there gambling. So he's an extremely smart punter then? Is that how your dad probably described him?
I don't know what... Yeah, well, look, there's not many real good punters, right?
No, there's not.
I'll tell you about their wins, but not their losses.
Yeah.
There's a few stories, and I don't want to get myself out of the will here if I release too many stories, but there's one story they were somewhere in England, I think it might have been, and they were driving down this road, and Kerry, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and Kerry wanted something to eat, and he pulled over at this old pub. Got me dad to bang on the door. The bloke answered the door and said, "Fuck off! It's fucking 3 in the morning." Dad's like, "Okay." He got back in the limo. The next pub, Dad banged on the door. Publican comes in. Dad goes, "Blah blah blah." He goes, "Okay, sweet." Opens up, cooks him a meal. Looked after him, and Kerry give him 50 grand or something. Said, "Go back and tell that fucker that I give you 50 grand." So something like so that sort of stuff. And I think he used to give chicks 5,000. Tip for getting him a packet of cigarettes while he was playing casino and stuff like that.
Well, John Daly came out recently and told a story. He said that he was, because I mean, your old
Dad
man
was there for that one.
Yeah.
It's a bit far-fetched, his one. But
it's
still a good story.
Yeah, no, it's all right, mate. Yeah, John Daly, Coops, he said I was gambling in Vegas. He said, Kerry Packer, the famous Australian. Anyway, he said he lost $8 million. And he said to the guy at the casino, he said, "Mate, I'll fix you up. Don't worry, I'll fix you up tomorrow." And he said, No, you get it now. Kerry's like, "Fucker." So he's gone away anyway. He's got 10 million, give him 8, and said, "Fuck, I'll have a go." Anyway, end up at that, the extra 2 million turned into like 50 million. And the bloke said, "Oh, we'll fix you up tomorrow." And Kerry said, "Get it now, you fucker." And the famous one with the flipping with the Texan. Your old man, the guy was big noting himself in the high rollers. And Kerry goes, "Oh, yeah, you must be worth a bit of money." And I said, "Mate, I got this, I got that, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "Right, I'll toss you for it, heads or tails."
What, for everything?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, your old man, I remember once, and again, I'm not going to disclose, but your old man told me once that your old man said that he used to have to wear, Barry used to wear a bodysuit filled with cash. Yes. So that when they were coming back through the States, they'd go through Argentina, and he'd pay the best polo players in the world cash to come out and play at Elliston.
He told me a story. So they went somewhere, and he says to Daddy, "I hold that," and he give him like a cachet bag full of cash. It was $1 million US in it, and they went to a casino, and Kerry punted his ass. I think he did 30 mil or something in 3 days. He was just in the high rollers, and Dad went to his room, and Dad said he was just spread out. In the nude with big brew balls just hanging. Dad walked in, and Dad's got the $1 million in the bag, and Dad goes, "Kerry," and he goes, "What?" And Dad goes, "What do you want me to do with this?" He goes, "What the fuck is it?" And Dad goes, It's $1 million in cash you give me." And he went, "I'll give it here." He just poured it all over himself.
What about your old man as a player? What do you
he's a great
remember?
Player.
Remember?
I saw some highlights.
He was great.
Black and whites.
Was it all? Because it would have been all black and white.
Well, I grew up, like I'm older than Garth, so I grew up at Henson Park with my dad. Like I'm from the age of 2. Just had a ball in my hand, so I just used to go everywhere with my dad, and he played with Steve Bowden, Cole Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great side, and I remember Dad was the gun. Kenny Wilson and Dad were the gun, Paul Hayward. But my dad had a mad chip and chase. He had a cutout pass. He was really fast. He was a really good player. He scored 10 tries in an A grade match. And the A grade side that he played up as a kid. This is how good and I think he was like 3 years younger than him. And he scored 10 tries in a game. It doesn't matter what grade you're playing. He scored 10 tries. So he's a freak. Unfortunately, it was just he always have someone better than like Bozo, Bobby Foot. Like there's always someone, Bobby Grant, someone in front of me that my dad was sort of following, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But he was a really good player. And everyone you speak to that played with him and that will speak really highly of Dad.
Geez, I tell you what, that Newtown side, and that time you talk about the thin blue line, the small gap between the Coppers and the Crims in those sides. My uncles played in that's one of those sides, Gary and Robbie Sullivan. And, of course, you said before, well, there was the Dawson twins.
Chickamore.
Dougie Chemist.
And, of course, Nettie Smith was a knocking around all those blokes. And on top of that, you mentioned Paul Hayward there.
Yeah.
And Paul Hayward, there's a book called The Damage Done, with him and Warren Fellows. He got done for trying to import heroin, and he spent, 20, 30 years in the jail in Bangkok, in the Bangkok Hill.
Come home.
Yeah, he got a king's pardon because he had AIDS. Come home, but tragic story.
And he come home and OD'd.
Yeah.
And Brad found him. So Bailey Hayward, that's now current playing.
Dogs.
The Dogs. He's Brad Hayward's son.
Is he?
Yeah, and he's his grandfather's Paul Hayward.
All right.
But your old man. Well, I've got to get this footage. I'm going to bump Singo and try to get it for the podcast, for the YouTube. And it was Singo ran a thing on Channel 10 called Rugby League New Faces, right?
I remember it.
And all the rugby league clubs had to submit like an act for the talent quest. Anyway, Barry won. Barry's was probably the worst act of the lot. He was sitting on a stool reciting poetry while the boys' mum threw
Poem was trees.
Threw fruit at him and shit.
Mum
she
threw
threw eggs and fruit in his face, and he won.
And she was a shit shot. He was headbutting the tomatoes and the eggs and that, but it was like a mad setup. I think he won, I don't know, some cash prize and the whole family got to go on the Fedor Sheliapin was this Russian cruise ship around Fiji, and it was maybe on a mad holiday, but it was raw. Dad won it. It was a raw.
Yeah, mate. Like Natty, you're a great player, right, mate? You like Tigers, Roosters, Warriors, Wakefield Trinity, Warrington. Mate, some of the characters, like you went into that Tiger side. Yeah, you had Benny and Blocker, coached by Alan Jones. What are your memories there of the Tigers?
My memories at the Tigers was good. Like I'm a South junior originally, but I had a bad injury and had to quit footy for a year. So I just played reserve grade there and never got to play first grade for South, which would have been a dream come true for me. So when I went back to try and play, so I got concussed and I went blind. I was in intensive care for 48 hours, lost my sight, and it was pretty heavy. My brother was going mad, crying, and when they told him,
how old are you then?
I must have been
23,
18.
22.
No, I was 18 because I played 21.
Yeah,
I was 18, maybe 17, 18. And I used to get knocked out quite a bit because I'd try and play above my weight. And I used to just get KO'd. And we keep playing on then. I could only see half of everything. Like my vision would go all funny. But I didn't want to come off because it didn't look like I was a cat, So I'd just keep playing. Anyway, one day I got knocked out. I was tackled Stephen Kearney, and I picked him up the dump because he used to be ruthless. And the things that he would say to you, and the thing he would just
Really, Stephen
Kearney.
Kearney?
Yeah, mate. Yeah,
ruthless. But we were all ruthless then. Like it was a different era. Like anything go. And I tried to dump him, and I picked him up, and our silly front row come over the top, and they both landed on my head and KO'd me. It was at Campbelltown, and I come off, and they did the concussion test, and I got a better score concussed than I did normal. And I was like, oh, he's right to go back on. They sent me back on. And then after the game, I had a shower that it was out at Campbelltown. My old man come in because he never missed a game, and he come in, he goes, you all right? And I said, I was walking out of the tunnel. I said, yeah, I'm all right. I'll stay here and get a drive home with Troy Slattery. Another good mate of ours. And as Dad was walking away, I turned to look at the footy, and everything just turned upside down. So something had gone on my vision, because your vision apparently reflects.
Mirror.
It's like a mirror. And everything was upside down. So I was like, oh, fuck. So I said, Dad, you better take me home. He took me home. The drive home, I got worse. Tried to have a lay down, lost my sight. I was in hospital for 48 hours or something. They told him, oh, look, we think he's got fluid on the brain. We're going to have to drill into his head, and he might stay blind. He might have a stroke. And Garth lost the plot. I could hear him. But everything was all white, like looking at that light. It wasn't like dark. I could hear him go, Matt, I go to Garth, come here. He comes over. I go, just to come. I go, you do me a favour. He goes, oh, what? Anything? I go, you have to pick me out a Labrador pup. You're a fucking idiot. And then my sight come back, but South didn't want me because they said, no, you're a risk. So I went back. We grew up boxing, so I went back and just did boxing.
Something safe.
Something safe, yeah. Something
Catching
safe
him with his
because but it was my release. We always grew up fighting. Dad got us doing everything. We learnt everything we could, so it was my release. So when I went back to CRC, wouldn't sign me, so I had to start off from scratch at the Tigers. Start off in 21s, and so that journey at the Tigers, like I watched that year when they won the grand final. I think I was injured. They got beat by Canberra.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah,
And I was thinking, fuck, I would love to be back playing football. And then 12 months later, I'm playing first grade with Benny. Benny, Ciro, Blocker had finished, but Blocker was always around. He's a legend, Blocker. I love Blocker. Steve Edmed, Johnny Elias, Marty Masala.
Sinkers.
Some characters there, man. Yeah.
Derek McVeigh.
Oh, yeah, big Dick, Newcastle boy.
And that gang, they took me to, there's a casino, a legal casino in Leichhardt.
Yeah.
So I'm like 20 years old. I'm in a legal casino with Johnny Elias, I was Johnny Elias's ball boy when I was 10. So I've known so he's like a big brother to me. I'm with Johnny Elias, Paul Siren, Steve Edmed, Marty Masala, probably Benny might have been there. And I'm playing in an illegal casino with these blokes I've watched in the grand final the year before. It was just so surreal. I'm just thinking, how mad is this? So, and they were just the best blokes. Just the things that they would do and the way they taught me about being a footballer. So it was just an unbelievable experience. And then
Well, I remember you blokes. I remember Natty. We spoke about this at Aaron Abel's wake. We're having a chat. I remember at that time, the Raiders were the team, the Green Machine. I remember the Green Machine, and they played you blokes. You just played them in Canberra. They're beating you something like 32-0 at half time, and you just end up beating them like 36-32.
No, we had a draw with them.
Had a draw.
I remember
We had a
that. It was
draw
your
with
debut,
Ciro.
wasn't it?
It was my debut, yeah, and Ciro was captain, right? And Ciro's got a bad stutter. And I don't know how he's captain because and look, they call the toss and he goes. How the fuck are you captain? How do you get the toss right? And you go, what? And you go, fuck. So we played and it was 32-0, and like there was star-studded team, the Green Machine, like. And I remember my first tackle was Mal Meninga. I was telling you this before, and I ran up and I was like 72 kilos, had a headgear on. And he palmed me. I flew about 5 metres into our back row. Bernie Carroll, I think his name was, and I injured him on the impact because that's how hard he first tackle. Anyway, we got to half time, and just before half time, and they'd scored again. And Ciro's like, boys, no, let's just make this respectful. And I was just fired up, and I was like, fuck that, let's just beat these. And everyone was like, this bloke? And we come out and we had a 32-all draw, and it was
I remember
unbelievable.
I idolized my brother, and the main spread of the back page was wood on fire.
Oh, that's good.
Like the things that used to go on at training was just that's the things you miss most when you retire.
The camaraderie.
Just that shit that goes on, the banner and the stuff.
Mate, you blokes had some of those blokes you read, like Johnny is just. Some of the greatest stories.
What about Chooks? Because then you go into the Chooks and you're with Gus and one of Matthew's work colleagues, Brian Fletcher.
Oh, mate, I can imagine you and Fletch together.
Yeah, so when we went to the Chooks, so Freddie was there, Rico, Lammy, Andrew Walker. Who else was
Minnie there?
Minnie was younger than he was like coming through. Scotty Goulet.
Rubes.
Ian
Rubin.
Yeah, there was.
He's living in Kyrgyzstan now.
Yeah. Shane Werrett. It was just a mad side. Nigel Gaffey.
Yeah, I remember those.
Like it sounds like a million years ago. And Fletch is younger than me, and he was like in the reserve grade. He's a gun, and we just hit it off straight away. Like he's a funny man. Everyone knows he's a funny man, but you know when you get two clowns together that just run off each other. So we just. Blokes would get upset if they were injured, missing training because they think, fuck, we're going to miss out on what they should get up to. Like we'd play tricks on people. I'd go and break into people's houses and scare them. Fletcher do this, and it was just mad, The things we used to get away with back then, like you just can't.
I love the one where Fletch got kicked out of the Chooks twice. I think there was one, a bad one. There was some sort of party anyway, kicked out. But the other one was that they were after the game, there was a presentation. Anyway, all the 3 grades were up. But, when you back in the day when you had 21's reserve grade, first grade, it was a really big thing when 3 grades won. Really prestigious. So Fletch said the whole club are up on the stage, celebrating, club championship, three from 3 on the day. Anyway, the mascot got up, Rocky the Rooster, was dancing. Fletch goes, "Hey boys, watch this." Anyway, he shoulder charged Rocky the Rooster. Off the stage, Rocky the Rooster hit and broke his leg. So anyway, Nick Politis and Arthur Bootson called Fletch in, and Arthur said, "Mate, it's the funniest thing I've ever fucking seen, but you cut from the club."
Yeah, we went to Atherton. I used to do all these dick tricks. Right? I had like 24 dick tricks. This was before. Remember the puppetry of the penis?
Yeah.
This was before them. I used to have all these dick tricks: the wristwatch, the knuckle dusters, all these. And
give us one of them.
the knuckle dusters, you put it over like
in between.
You put it over your knuckles like you got knuckle dusters. The wristwatch obviously is a wristwatch.
Trampoline.
The trampoline. You used to bounce your mort on your the chicken breast is obvious. So there's a heap of them, right? Anyway, so I used to just do them. The train, everyone go, do your dick tricks. And I used to get a plastic bag, put it over my head, and put Ray-Bans on there. I was called the Phantom, right? And it was just to entertain the boys. We go and play at Atherton, and I did my ankle or something, and everyone was on the piss, and I went to bed early, and Beatso was looking after us. He took us away to Atherton. So I'm dead to the world, and Shawnee Garlic and Fletch bang on the door. Phantom, where's the fucking Phantom? And I'm like, what? So I wake up and they go, we're on the drink. They had this huge, like a room full of pool tables, and there was an old bush like pub.
Yeah.
And they go, get the Phantom up. I was like, what? They go, we wanted the Phantom. So we had whoever we played against, and all these bushies were in this. It was like 60 people jammed in this room. I go, right, so I get this plastic bag. We got a plastic bag, so I'm going to put some holes in it, put the Ray-Bans on. I get this big blanket, and I go out, and Fletch and Shawnee Garlic introduced me like rock and roll wrestling. Yeah. Entering the ring at this time, parts I know, bullshit. So I come out, I get right in character in the nude with the blanket on me and the fucking and I come out and they do this mad intro. So I just walk around the room like fucking like a Paul
Macho
Orndorff.
Man,
Macho Man, and I'm looking at all these bushies are there. They're just got into this. They're on the piss with first graders. They're loving it. And I walk around and look at them and go to the next one, bump them. And I do a lap around the room. And Fletcher's talking shit. And I get to the door and then I just drop the blanket. And Fletch goes, the wristwatch. The knuckle dusters. And everyone's cheering. And what's his name? Dave Manson? Is that
Yeah.
He's there.
The
He gets a start and he's there and he's blind. And I'm just going mad. And then I go over and I'm like, stand on the stool, some bush, and he's like, I'm doing the wristwatch in his face. And it went mad. And I said, all right, boys, I'll go to bed. The next week, we play the first game at wherever, Footy Stadium. Manson's refereeing.
Dave Manson's
refereeing. And he's going, get onside. He goes, Phantom! Get onside!
He's a great bloke, Dave Manson.
I find it so funny that there's at every single club, all of these things like the penis inspections, all of the clubs from the 90s, just everybody had one Nat Wood who was doing it. Like I remember Melbourne Storm had Danny Williams. Danny Williams said he used to. That was their thing. They used to get all the blokes in the pool, and he'd start down the other end and put goggles on, and he'd dive from the other end, swan dive, and he'd go underwater doing the breaststroke and with the goggles on, and one by one would just inspect everyone's penis, and then he'd maneuver them from 1 to 10, from best penis to worst penis in the pool.
I went to Bali. First time I've ever been to Bali. I went to Bali, and Danny Williams was there. It was a mate. He started working for a mate of mine that had his Todd Jackson, if you know Jackson.
Yeah, yep.
So I love there, and I look and there's Danny Williams. I love Danny Williams because he's just mad.
Yeah.
We played against each other, but never got on the piss. And usually we all have a night out on the piss, and I see him, and I go, Danny Williams. He goes, Natty Wood. I go, this is fucking unreal. He goes, I've been dying to have a night on the piss with you. I go, righto. You know how mad he is.
Yeah.
And everyone in the group, there's only me and him. They're all on edge, just going mad, grabbing him and talking. And then there was a vase. It was pumping out water, like those. And I go to him, do you know about Houdini? And he goes, Houdini? And he's just like, yeah, Houdini. He goes, yeah. I go, want to pretend that I'm Houdini in a straitjacket and you get me by the ankles and lower me into that vase and I'll escape. And he goes, fucking oath. And everyone's going, what the fuck? And I go, boys, who reckons I can escape from the vase? And everyone's going, don't do it. And he's going, do it. I go, make sure you can hold me. So he gets me above this thing and he gets me by the ankles. He goes to put me in it. My head goes that far into it, but there's a fountain in it. I think you could lower me all the way down. He just jams me in it and my head just goes boom on this spiky fucking fountain that's pumping out the water. I was like, he's trying to jam me into the fucking vase. Obviously, I didn't escape. We're trying to do that. Was my first encounter with Danny as a legend, the Blitz.
Mate, before we talk about your Boston career, Garth, and talk about that fight with the Contender and Choco, after you go to the Warriors, Natty, you got to tell us the Nathan Cleary story.
Oh.
Okay.
So at the Warriors, like, I went to the Warriors single. I'd broken up with my wife at the time and my two boys. So I went there single and I lived with Richie Villasani and Justin Murphy. And I just used to get fucking bored. So I'd just go around, like every club I went to, I just used to break into people's houses, hide under their bed while they were sleeping, jump out on them and their missus or do something. So I went there and I just started going around scaring everybody. And then me and Ivan played together at the Roosters, so Ivan and Beck are the best. And we used to just go there for dinners. We went there for dinner one night. We were on the piss, and it was time to leave. And when we left, my ex-wife was driving down the driveway, and I just jumped out and said, "I'll see you at home." And I went back and climbed up his side thing to get into his bedroom. When I get in there, it's like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night. And I hide in the cupboard. I think I'll just wait till Ivan and Beck get into bed and I'll jump on him in the middle of the night, right? And I'm sitting there for ages. I'm cramping up going, I can't stay in here for too long. I'm thinking, how can I get him to come upstairs? I can hear him downstairs chit-chatting. No. So I get out of the wardrobe and I turn their alarm clock full bore, so the radio just goes. I jump back in the closet, and I'm hiding in the closet. And I hear boom, 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 back up the stairs. Someone's coming up the stairs. I hear boom, 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 boom in the room. Turn the radio off, and I just jump out. And it's poor Natty. He's like 3, and he just goes. And I'm like, Natty. He runs down the stairs. Ivan runs up the stairs. What the fuck's going on? So I scarred him, the poor little boy.
Mate, they reckon he slept for the next 10 years. Slept him back in Ivan's room.
Yeah. Well, we had Nathan on and he told us his perspective of that, and he still remembers it pretty vividly. Yeah, he's very fucking scared.
Now, Garth, you like terrific rugby league player in your own right, but mate, boxing. I remember like that show, the Contender.
Yeah,
it was a big thing in the States, and it came to Australia. So, what made you enter into it,
mate? I got a phone call from Johnny Lewis. No word of a lie. At that same time, everyone goes through breakups. Football career had finished. I was more or less MIA. I was fucking doing it hard because I just didn't. My manhood was gone. Missus has left me. Didn't have a job. Footy. Wasn't playing footy no more. And I was off and gone, and everyone was worried about me. Mum, Dad especially. Johnny knew what I was doing. Or if he saw what he did. I was getting up to some shit. Anyway, he rang me out of the blue. He said, what's doing, son? How are you? I said, good, John. How are you? He goes, mate, and fucking lie to me. I said, what? He goes, no, it's a serious fucking question. How are you? I said, I'm fucked up. He goes, well, mate, we can turn all that around, you know. He goes, you know that boxing show, remember the Contender? They did that Stallone did one in America. I said, yeah. He goes, well, Shannon Taylor's pulled out. The only thing is, can you enter? But they've asked me, did I know anyone? I said, yeah, for sure, you, because I'd had 2 pro fights or 3 pro fights before. And I said, mate, I'd love to get in. He goes, well, you got 3 days notice. And I'd been bending and fucking running amok for 18 months. So it was more rehab than anything for me. And I went, all right, just let me go home and ask Mum and Dad what they can do, because I was still having the girls every second weekend. Come home, Dad went, you fucking idiot. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to end up in fucking hospital. Don't think I don't know what you fucking been doing. There was 5 top 10 boxers in the world. Nate Hampton, Kariz Kariuki, Victor Oganoff, and a couple of other 2 blokes. And he goes, mate, they're going to fucking murder you. You haven't been training, you haven't done this. He goes, fuck off. That's how that is, straight to the point. I went in there and Mum, I said, Mum, you got to do something. Can you smooth him over? I said, this is my chance to turn my life around. Oh, I said, I'll kill this. I said, I'll switch on. I'll go straight in there. More or less more like you believe you can do anything when you're that age. Yeah, I can do it. Well, all I really wanted was for someone to believe in me, and Johnny did that. And he made a phone call anyway. I want to thank my mum, given it's Mother's Day. She did whatever she had to do to get it over the line. Baz the next day said, mate, all right, I'll let you go. He goes, so I was still 20, I was 28 at the time, still had to get the word from Baz. That's how dominant he is in our life. So he said, yeah, all right, sweet. So I told him, Fox come and pick me up within 2 days. And I looked like a bad pisshead. I've been on the drink hard. Walked in the Contender, and from the moment I stepped in the Contender, I just transformed. My whole mental state, manifesting, like, because I played for 30 first grade games, but all I ever wanted to do as a kid was play NRL, just like Dad, Nat. Like, we had a pool table room with all black and whites, Paulie Hayward, Dad, Chickamore, Ronnie Coote, and I'd see all these blokes, Ronnie Coote and Maccas. I just wanted to be an NRL player. I used to sleep in my football clothes thinking that will give me special powers to play NRL. And I played, but not to where I wanted to get to. So I had a lot of this, being a young bloke, wanting to prove yourself, ego. I want to be someone. So I thought, this is it. I'm going to really win this show and show people that, you beat yourself up. I'm your worst critic. I'm worthy and I'm someone. But I went in there not knowing just what I was up against, but the talent of boxer that were in there, they were pretty good. And I was still a novice. And you can tell from my style, I went in there and it was more like a car park fight at a nightclub on a Saturday night, Edge Hotel in fucking Dolphin Street. But I could punch. So I got to the...
What actually was, for those that sort of weren't around listening, the Contender itself, what was the structure of the show? Like, what did you have to do to win?
Well, the one in Australia, Stallone had one in America where two blokes would fight at the end and you'd be regarded as the Contender. But because Mundine was here and he was the golden boy, he was the prize at the end of it.
Yeah.
So there was 14 of us. You win, you stay on. You win, you stay on. I went for 8 weeks and they made a profile out of everyone. It was good. The public got behind it, watched the show. Fox 8, it was a ripper of a show.
They went over budget every week.
Yeah, okay. So it's like King of the Ring. You just
continue.
When it goes on.
And a fitness test too on the way through.
Yeah.
That you win to get points or
Yeah,
whatever.
I got in there the first day and we had fitness tests and over at Home and Away, with the cliff and the lighthouse and all that. We're over here now. It was like you had to remember a code each time you went up and unlock it was crazy, but you had to run up the mountain, run up the sand hills, this and that. Anyway, not being a big head, I flogged them, smashed it out of the park. So I got 2 weeks off, which was beautiful for me. So we're staying at the Ibis, not allowed out because it's a TV show. I'm breaking out, going down because I still was under the pump, going for long road runs, and that was spiritual. Bawling my eyes out, thinking this is fucking me. This is what I need to get my life back on track. My girls can see me crying. I'm going through depression. I'm going to win this and it'll change my life. But also, Mundine was the prize for whoever won the comp, the tournament. Yep. So I won it, beat a bloke who was an Olympian, Careers Karaoke, who everyone didn't give me a chance. I went and did 4 weeks prep in Vegas fighting blokes. He's stature, he's sort of caliber. And from the first actual fight that I had, which was a war, was like a car park fight, and to what I transformed into to win that final, I was like a seasoned pro. I was slipping, punching, catching punches, and I won unanimously and moved on to Mundine. And the worst thing they ever did, Mundine, was give me at least another 8 months to just keep transforming and improving, because they should have jumped on me then, because I was still a bit raw, still a novice, but...
So it was 8 months. So once you won it, you had 8 months prep.
They still had to prop it up and make it what it was, and they wanted their money back like they do, given pay-per-view and all this. But, mate, I did a prep with Fennec. We went to Thailand, same thing. Got in a little ring that was like a phone booth, so I'd throw 1,000 punches and I was fitted. Not being a big noter, but my engine was my ace up my sleeve. Yeah, I had skills, but I was regarded the fittest in rugby league when I played rugby league for that short time. And then when I got going to boxing, running, doing all these different specific training with Fennec and that, he didn't stand a chance, because obviously Mundine was a 3-time world champion. Not meaning to talk boastfully about it, but it's all mine. The boxing game is 90% in the head. You know what I mean? If I'm in the ring and I'm fighting someone, all of a sudden, I take a punch and then I start thinking, well, he's got me here. Definitely, I'll bring it to life. Where if I'm on top of him, I can feel him slipping away and I think I'm going to knock this bloke out. That's how Johnny would say to us as a kid, son, the thing between your two ears is the sharpest tool in the house. And I used to think, the fuck is he talking about? Because I was young, what is he talking about that? Dad went, I don't know. That you find out yourself. But then when you get in the ring, you find out this is the main thing. You know what I mean?
Do you
so much in life as well.
Do you reckon, like, of course, Chock knew you two blokes so well, and you knew him so well. Do you reckon that unnerved him?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I psyched him big time. If you get on there's a thing on Facebook, Face Off, Wood and Mundine, and I more or less rape him, just verbaling him there, and that's when he went. And all the boys that grew up with us, Wes, or the blokes from Redfern, they pulled him up. Darren Caldwell, they said, mate, don't take Garth lightly. Don't underestimate him. He's a fucking fruiter. He's fit. He can punch. And he went, yeah, whatever, brah. And then when we got to verbal and press conferences and that's when he went, fuck. You can see in his face, what have I fucking done here? Like, because you knew I wasn't just going to be a walkover. Well, you knew the Wood family and the Mundine family. We're all tight.
Were you all from the same area? Grew up in the
same area.
Yeah.
So like, you know, when you play a game, like everyone knows, that opening set of 6 when you're playing rugby league, you know it's going to be a tough day, or we've got these blokes. So with boxing, I remember at the fight that night, like straight away in the early exchanges, did you think, I've got him here?
I knew my punching power because he'd been whispering to everyone else, because they tried to run, they fucked the ring up. They tried to rope the dope. They made the fucking ropes like this and bouncing off, so taking away my power. I don't know what they thought. It played into my hand because that's where I knocked him out on the ropes because he got caught up. And me and Fennick had this prep, the whole thing, overhand right, left rip in the body. He said, he's weak in the body, go attack his body. When I did that, he went to run, he got stuck in the corner, overhand right, left hook, boom. And then I knew for that fact that he was scared of me. He didn't want to get anywhere near me because if I unloaded, he was a bit unsure of himself if he could handle it. But yeah, they did a lot of holding up until the 4th round. Referee started warning him, no more holding. And when I got the front, let my hands go, that's when I clipped him and it was see you later.
Natty, for you, is that, in terms of your life, where's that not?
Up there.
Where's it? Yeah, ranks up there.
Yeah, for sure. He it makes me emotional to talk about it because he was off the rails, gone. And we're all worried that he was going to do something stupid to himself. So it was like when I listen to him talk, it brings out emotions in me. So it was good. I knew he would win, and I had a blow up with Dad because Dad was worried that he's going to get hurt. And I said to him, big blow up. I said, listen, he'll win the fucking thing. And my Dad's like, what? I said, he'll win the thing. And he's like, you've lost the plot. And I said, all right. So when he got to fight Chock, he was like $5.50 with one of the betting agents, and we had that. They had that press conference and that, and so I went up to one of the betting
best bets.
I don't know which one it was. Someone that I did me ass with.
Try to get your money back.
I said, what? They were all there because you could bet on it. And I said, what price is my brother? And they go $5.50. I was like, you are fucking cowards. I said, he's got to be at least $6. They go, all right, we'll give you $6. And I said, all right, I have 6,000 on it. And they went, all right. So I put 6,000 on him at $6. So when we got the bet on, he won. And when he dropped Chock, and I'm good mates with Chock, and I've got a lot of respect for Chock. We grew up playing against each other, and that. And what he did is brilliant. And he looks after a lot of family members. But all the heat and brought the bad person in us that can come out that want to kill you. So when Garth dropped him, I was like, if you have a look at the video, I'm right near where Chock's head is, and I'm slapping the canvas going, sucked in. Yep, no. And they started counting him out, and I lost count of the count, but I could see he was gone. So I started getting in the ring to celebrate. Yeah. And Billy Hussein and Jeff were like, Natty, stop. I was like, shut up, he's gone. They're like, no, stop. And the ref finished his count, luckily, and then the Garth runs across the ring and jumps, and then I jump in and pick him up. But if I would have got in sooner, Before the count, he would have been disqualified, so I could have fucked it up for him. But I ended up, but I ended up winning 36 grand, and whoever it was took 2 weeks to pay me. I shouted everyone out all night. I went through that much cash. I walked out of some joint at the Cross
Coca-Cola
whatever it was daytime, and I had no shirt on, and I tucked my shirt in. I had no money left, and I had to walk to my mum's at Stanmore. So I just put my hands behind my back, and I was taking, you know, when you got the line in the concrete.
Yeah.
I was taking like 1 metre steps. And Jimmy Smith was got his radio thing, and someone rang Jimmy Smith and said, "I tell you what, there was a great win by Garth Wood last night. But I think his brother's got the 3 points. I just seen him walking down Oxford Street with his shirt on. Looked like Ben Cousins."
What about like I remember that night there was the after party. It was madness. Yeah, like and success, and particularly success in boxing can be tricky, because the people at the tracks. How was that straight after it, Garth? How much did your life change after that?
Yeah,
after
big time.
chocker?
Mate, I had, like we said, we come out of Dream Girls, which is Mick and Manny's. It used to be our hub. I left the back part of it. The Coca-Cola bloke was dropping off Coca-Cola machine, and they all went, "Fucking hell, that's the guy. Garth, how are you, mate? What the fuck are you doing? That's the fucking guy." And I'm like, fuck me. Then everywhere I walked, "Hey, Garth, how are you?" It was surreal. It was crazy, but yeah, it was good to know that they appreciated what I'd done.
How did that affect? Obviously, you were like off the rails before you kind of went onto the Contender. How did then the sudden everybody? Like you blew up, obviously beating Chock Mundine. How did that affect you? Like, did the fame get the better of you?
I always wanted to be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I loved the lifestyle of boxing. Given, all right, we've got to fight 6 weeks, got to make this weight, got to eat right, got to train, routine. And I've sort of lost all that, but we've always been like, and it's been instilled in the house. I left school, got asked to leave. And I remember I used to be on the couch at home. Dad would walk in. He always had the grouse jobs. Working for a transport company, IPEC, or it might have been Comet. He'd come home whenever he wanted. Oh, yeah, man, it's Dad's job, all right? So I'm laying on the lounge like this, watching TV. Boom, he'd walk in and go, "The fuck are you doing? Get off the fucking lounge. Go and walk down the street, ask him if there's a job. You get a fucking bum. What do you think you're doing? Fucking do this, do that, right?" And then during the day also, he saw me training. How many you done? Yeah, what are you benching?
If you walked in the door and you were on the lounge, he'd want to flog you. If you walked in the door and you were doing bench press,
he'd love you.
He'd go, "What are you listening?"
So I'd be sitting there watching TV, I'd hear the key go in, I'd go, "Fuck, jump up."
You always have the bench fully loaded,
Oh,
I always wanted to be a professional athlete, and I find that the whole routine and the training and the sparring, like the competing's good, but that lifestyle, you're untouchable. And it's all up here. And I manifested that much to beat Mundine. I read some good books, and I had this montage on the wall. And because I was because I was raw and I was a novice, I put all the boxes that I idolized as a kid. And I wanted, meaning what I wanted. I'd wake up in the morning, I want to see it on the wall because I wanted a bit of Sugar Ray speed. I wanted some of Mike Tyson's power. So this is my mind manifesting the assassin that I wanted to take myself to be. And then I had Mundine knocked down because he got beat by Otke was before knocked out. I had me pictured up, standing over above him. So I was manifesting, I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to get in the ring. I'm going to transform to the raw fighter that I am. I read a book called Maximum Achievement it was, but it's similar to The Secret in that. And I really took it in. At school, didn't want to read a book, wouldn't touch it, this and that. I'd only rock up sports days for school. Because I always knew that, Dad said me did. I wasn't dummy, but I just didn't attract myself to putting my head down and writing out the books and this and that. I was always sporty, athletics, this and that. So that's probably why Dad goes, "What are you doing on the lounge?" Train. So if he saw I training, he had faith in me to do something in the sporting world. So that's the manifesting everything. I'm pretty good at that. If you tell me I can't do something, I'll go out and prove you wrong. Yeah. So I got that from the public, and that's what really instilled me to go and turn my life around.
How do you like that? I mean, all of us with sport, when you finish in sport, it certainly leaves a hole. How do you keep on top of yourself now, Garth?
I play Scrabble a lot.
Yep.
Me and that go to bingo every Thursday. Howsy at Erskine Bowling Club.
Yeah.
My order. Nah, I train.
Yeah,
I jog, a bit like Forrest Gump. It just filters the good from the bad. I need to just let something out. I've got a good job now. I'm working pretty long hours, but I'm still going to have to squeeze training sessions into it because otherwise I'll be a hot-tempered prick around the house. So I think training plays a big part in my mental state.
Yep.
And I miss it. Sometimes I don't watch the boxing anymore because then I'm never going to come back out of retirement. But sometimes I tend to stay away from watching it because you get a bit soft and you think, fuck, I wish I was back there.
Yeah.
But I still appreciate what's going on now in the boxing game and the footy. I love footy to death. Footy was my main love. I wanted to be just like my dad and my brother. I just idolised them.
I tell you, you blokes are fucking clever. Very, very clever. Like, Natty, we recently, I mean, I know you paint a lot, draw.
I used to.
Yeah, used to.
Had
a crack. But,
I was
mate,
in a bad relationship and it was my medicine.
Escape.
It was my escape.
Yeah.
Better than my other escapes.
Yeah. But, mate, like, we went over, like, we're going to do something in a minute, surprise for you two blokes, with the Hitbox. I mean, as far as fitness is concerned, that honestly is one of the smartest inventions that I've ever seen.
Thanks, Matty. I invented that. Originally invented that probably 11 years ago when I was in a bad space, and like I said, our training was in our like boxing, and me and Garth used to spar each other for an hour straight, just to release the demons in us. So I invented this thing. It was originally called the punch box. It's just a wall-mounted punching bag, but that's evolved. It used to count your punches. I remember I got my eldest boy to teach me how to solder, and I went to JCar and I got some soldering iron and some sensors and put it on this uppercut and hook bag at my dad's that me and Garth used to train on for our medicine. And I got a people counter, you count people, and I wired it all up, and my dad came out and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I said, I'm reinventing the punching bag. He's like, right, because I'm always like inventing stuff, or creative, and I ended up inventing this thing that now I've got it to a point now where we're just trying to get an ambassador. We're talking to a couple of people to be ambassador and launch it with the school kids, and you can train at home with it and whatnot, but you can run competitions, and let's say you've got one and you're in the US and I'm in Sydney, we can compete against each other live, and it'll capture your heart rate, your calories burnt, your punches, but it's live, so it's like a FaceTime call. Like, let's say, for instance, my brother's down in the dumps, I can message him on it and say,
challenge.
Want to challenge me at 6 a.m, get up and we'll do a workout together. So it helps. For me, I like to think that for me and Garth, our training was our escape from all the demons that we've got. So, and I've got heaps of mates that are recovering alcoholics, junkies, whatever, and they like to train. So I've just made it now so that anyone that gets a Hitbox, you just put it on your wall, you join there'll be a Hitbox sort of club, and you can just train with mates, train with anybody. Kids can compete against each other. So if I get the ambassador that we're trying to get, there's workouts on the tablet that it comes with. So I'm just like I've got 4 boys. They've all grown up. I've got 29, 25, 8 and 2. But we've all grown up training, and I know how important it is to stay focused and train. So I just created this thing that hopefully it becomes very successful. I'm talking to 155 schools at the moment that are looking to possibly put it on the wall in their gym so that then kids can train on it at the schools, and if they want to go further, they can get it and train at home and compete against each other, because we'll be making challenges that get kids fit and switched on, and something like that. So with the Hitbox, that's my little project that I've been doing on the side for me, and hopefully it blossoms into something.
Well, I'll
good.
tell you what, Natty, let's go and have a crack.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see these, mate. These blokes. One thing, as you get past 50, the young lions think they run the pride. Well,
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm happy just being sitting in the back of the pack.
Well, let's go and see what you got.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
go.
Thanks,
Hey,
boys. Thank
No
you.
worries.
Thanks for the
Pleasure.
interview.
Thank you,
No,
boys.
thank you.
Yeah,
It's
thanks for
great.
coming on.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Lots of good
Thanks for having
stories.
Right, let's go and have a
So
crack
many.
at the Hitbox.
Righto.
Let's go. You too, Jack. You're on, man. Well, geez, you really love that jumper, don't you? You took it off when the boys arrived, and you put it straight back on when they left.
Well, that's because the aircon was put on during the interview, and I got cold,
Mm.
and I thought, and then I got stipples during the interview, which is stiff nipples.
Yeah, we're going to show them off, did you?
That was
Hey,
good.
They were good, weren't they?
That was very funny.
Very,
Hey,
very good.
you set the bar high at the start. You said they're great storytellers, and you've always said someone never set a bar too high when it comes to telling stories, because you don't want everyone to have high expectations. But, geez, Natty can spin a yarn.
Garth, great guy, Garth. Great guy. And yeah, as I said before, a very successful boxer. Some people say that Natty was a better fighter. Don't know about that. But the old man's a champion, Barry Wood. again, like apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He's a great storyteller and a great character as well. Good work, Coops.
Thanks.
You look a little bit tired. What have you been doing, man? It's like you've swam through a river of shit or something. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just tired.
Oh,
I've just been working so hard.
It must be
lately.
so hard doing that sort of 3 hours a day. It must be, I just feel for you so much.
It's just so it's just hard. I think it's just draining. While you're up there having sweet dreams in the middle of the night, I'm up preparing for radio. What's
See that?
What's that?
5, 6, 7, 8 years I did breakfast radio. Brother, you're about 8 weeks in. Okay? Let me tell you.
6 months.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, the worst is yet to come.
I know. So you should know, because now you don't do it because it broke you.
Yeah, I don't need to, brother.
Well, is that a salary thing?
Yeah. No, it's not. It's a lifestyle choice.
Okay.
Anyway, right, that'll do us. Good one, Coops.